This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's number one show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I got the wrong score down at the bottom, so bear with me. I'm going to fix the score. That was when the Knicks blew out the Indiana Pacers the other night. So I got the wrong score down there. I don't know what happened. Anyway, the Knicks lose 110 to 104 to the Cleveland Cavaliers. And listen, I'm gonna tell you my biggest gripe right now. I just got a gripe with Karl Anthony Towns, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to see this all season long. I don't think we will, but I can't. I don't know. I don't want to see all season long Karl Anthony Towns with these low shot numbers, shot attempt numbers. He took 8 shots tonight. That's not what the Knicks brought him here for. 8 shots. Jalen Brunson took 24 shots. Brunson is going to shoot the rock. We know that. He's going to shoot the rock. Karl Anthony Towns, he's got to get more aggressive as demanding the ball, getting the ball in his spots. Maybe it's on Jalen Brunson to make sure that he gets the ball in his spots. Maybe that's on Jalen Brunson. I don't know, but the Knicks won't win this way. Sorry. They won't. They won't win this way. Karl Anthony Towns was brought to the New York Knicks to be the second best player on the team, to be one of the primary scorers on the team. You can't. He shot 50%, 4 for 8. That's cool. Real nice. Josh Hart should be going 4 for 8. Deuce McBride should be going 4 for 8. Cam Payne should be 4 for 8. Not Karl Anthony Towns. Unless it's a blowout. Karl Anthony Towns should be 10 for 20. Right? 9 for 19, something like that. That's a gripe. And I'm not, I know there's going to be some people in the chat that say, oh, you just trying to complain about Cat. No. I like what he does. I like the way that he plays the basketball game. And I do understand that he's not like a selfish type of player. That's not him. But the Knicks brought him here to be that guy for this team. They brought him here to be a primary scorer. He had 13 points tonight. The Knicks did have some balanced scoring, I guess. But, this is the second time in 2 games where his field goal attempts have been less than 10. First game against the Celtics, 9. Even last game, even against Indiana, he had 20 whatever points, but I think he only took 11 shots or something like that. Right? But out of 3 games, his field goal attempts have been below 10 twice. For me, that's not a good look. It's not a good look. You know what I mean? So they got to figure out a way to make sure that Karl Anthony Towns is getting his looks. I mean, Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges had 15 shot attempts tonight. That's a good number for him. 9 for 15. Let me bring the box score over. Mikal Bridges, like I said, 40 minutes for Mikal Bridges. 9 for 15 from the field. 19 points, 6 rebounds. Good numbers for Bridges. Good numbers for Bridges, right? I'm glad to see that his shooting is getting better. He's still 1 for 4 from the three-point line. He's got to work, the three will fall. It's going to fall, no doubt about it. It's going to fall. Brunson, 37 minutes for Jalen Brunson, 8 for 24 from the field, only shot 33%. Didn't start off strong at all. Brunson didn't. Ended up with 21 points, 7 assists. OG Anunoby, 15 points tonight. He was 7 for 13 from the field. Josh Hart, 16 points, 13 rebounds for Josh Hart. He was a rebounding demon tonight. 4 for 10 from the field, 2 for 5 from the three-point line. Karl-Anthony Towns, again, 4 for 8 from the field. It's not good enough, Cat. It's not good enough. We got to figure it out. He's got to be way more of a threat. We need him to be a threat so that they can spread the floor. We need him to be a threat in the post. We need him to be a threat in the passing game. He had 10 rebounds tonight. He had 3 assists. Karl-Anthony Towns has got to score the basketball. And he's got to take shots. Got to take shots. Kings said, I'm not seeing how this trade, let me get it over here, said, I'm not seeing how this trade made them better, but Cat needs to find a way to get shots. We're not going to see how much better it made the Knicks until, it's going to take some time. And then we'll see how much better it actually made the Knicks. But in order for the Knicks to be better, Karl-Anthony Towns has got to shoot the ball. He needs shots. You dig what I'm saying? He's got to get shots. That's what is going to make this offense work and get better. And I know the Knicks played a tough defensive team tonight in Cleveland. The Cleveland Cavaliers are now 4-0 on the season. Right, they're starting off pretty strong, but the Knicks had a 13-point lead in this game. A 13-point lead the Knicks had. Got to be able to hold those leads. Now, when you're a team that's new, right? Because the Knicks are, for the most part, new. When you're a team that's new, you're going to give up some leads because you're learning. You're figuring it out as a team. You're figuring it out. You're going to give up some leads. The Knicks gave up a 13-point lead. They lose the game 110-104 to the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm upset, kind of pissed off that Karl-Anthony Towns only took 8 shots, ended up with 13 points. Good from the field, good from the free throw line. All the numbers look good for Karl-Anthony Towns. 10 points, 3 assists, 1 steal. Didn't have any blocks, but that's okay. Field goal attempts got to go up. Is it on Brunson? Is it on Tom Thibodeau? I don't give a damn who is on. Just get him up. We can all say, well, it's going to take a little time, this and that. Yo, just give him the ball in the post and move out the way. Let him go to work. Right? Run some things for him so that he gets some nice pick and pops and all, pick and pops from the three-point line, mid-range, whatever it is. We got to do something, I think, to get him just a little bit more involved so he's getting his shot attempts. Anthony LaRocco, hopefully I said your name correctly, said, I'm not worried about it. I dig it. I'm not worried about it. This is what I'm worried about. Well, yes, I am. I'm lying. I'm worried about it. This is what I'm worried about. I'm worried that it's his mentality. That he doesn't have an aggressive enough mentality. And I'm not saying that he's a soft player. I'm just saying I'm worried that his mentality isn't aggressive enough to say, let me take over the basketball game. Jalen Brunson has that mentality. Let me take over the game. This is my game. This is my court. This is Madison Square Garden. I own it. I'm the king of New York. Give me the rock. Let me take over. I don't know if Karl-Anthony Towns has that mindset. That's scary to me because Julius Randle had that mindset. And I know people are going to say, oh, you're comparing them, but you're still salty. No, that's not it. I just want Karl-Anthony Towns. I want Karl-Anthony Towns to be what they brought him here to be. and that's to be one of your primary scorers. It's necessary for this team to win. I don't see the Knicks winning without that. So if he's not going to play aggressively, excuse me for the background noise. If he's not gonna play aggressively, then we have a problem, a serious problem on our hands. I think he will. I think he'll get it. I think he'll figure it out. I mean, listen, he's been a primary player for too long in this league, so he knows what his job is. He knows that he's expected to be a primary scorer on this basketball team. He knows that he's going to be expected to take over the game every now and again. And I'm sure there's going to be some games that he does it. Karl-Anthony Towns, Cat, the big bodega, whatever we calling him. You got to do it every night, bro. I'm just one voice in the Knicks community. It's a whole lot of them. And, people will start calling you out real quick. Go ask Juju. He'll let you know. You remember that. It's not going to get that bad for you. But I can guarantee you, there's going to be some people that got a little bit of concern. You know what I mean? Keith Turner said, I honestly don't think Brunson likes Cat. I don't know. I don't think that's the case. I'm pretty sure they've known each other already. They're in the same CAA family and all of that stuff. So, I'm not worried about that. Pretty sure they get along. I'm just worried about the mentality of Cat. And does he have the mentality? His mentality to me is much like OG Anunoby. They have similar mentalities. Similar mentalities. The mentality is like, I'll take what I'm given. I get that for OG. I understand that for OG because of the type of player that he is, right? OG is a defensive guy. He's not supposed to be one of your primary scorers. So that's okay for OG to have that type of mentality. And he's gonna get what he gets when he gets it. Cat's got to have a different mentality. And it's got to start right now. This thing got to start now. Or else, it's not, the Knicks got a tough schedule to start the season. We know that. But the Knicks, it was a winnable basketball game. The winnable basketball game. And I'm not blaming it on Karl-Anthony Towns. And I know he was in foul trouble tonight. He still played 32 minutes. He ended up with 5 fouls on the night. You notice in the fourth quarter, he came back in the fourth quarter. Hukporti played in the fourth. We're going to talk about that. Hukporti played in the fourth quarter. Had a monster dunk erased. A little disappointed about that. That was the kind of dunk that could listen. He did it. He did the dunk. So that could definitely propel him. Tony been talking about him playing and getting playing time. He got some playing time tonight. And he was playing in the fourth, deep in the fourth. Tom Thibodeau chose to go with Hukporti over Jericho Sims in the fourth quarter. That says a lot. That tells you a whole lot about what Tom Thibodeau feels about Hukporti right now. You know what I mean? Says a lot. Jason Fletcher said, y'all calling for Towns. It's clear Brunson screwed this game. It's not about, I'm not playing a blame game right now. So it's not about who won the game for us, lost the game for us. It's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's all on top. Karl-Anthony Towns. The Knicks were up 13. You know what I mean? The Knicks were up 13. So I'm not saying it's Cat's the problem. I'm just saying we need Cat to shoot more than 8 times in the game. You know what I mean? Need him to shoot more than 8 times in a game. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, ladies and gentlemen, of course, they were led in scoring by Darius Garland, 34 points. He was a monster all night long, 12 for 19 from the field, 5 for 8 from the three-point line, 5 for 5 from the free throw line. Big game for Darius Garland. Let me tell you something, talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers, if Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell are going to play these type of games, it's going to be tough to beat them. He shot 63% from the field, Darius Garland did. Donovan Mitchell shot 52.9% from the field. He was 9 for 17, 25 points, 5 assists for Donovan Mitchell. Right? He stepped aside to let Darius Garland do what he did. 33 minutes for Donovan Mitchell, 32 minutes for Darius Garland. 17 points for Evan Mobley. He had 17 points and 8 rebounds. Jared Allen had 15 points, 15 rebounds. Big games for these guys. 2 big centers. And I know, yes, Karl Anthony Towns had to deal with 2 big centers out there. There's no doubt about it. I get that. I get all of that. I would much rather have Karl Anthony Towns because the Knicks need him to score the ball. The Knicks scored 104 points tonight, 104. That's not going to get it in today's NBA. Sorry. We know that. How long have we talked about that? The Knicks need him to score. I'm going to keep harping on it until this man goes on a streak of dropping buckets. I don't care who gets mad at me either. It's just what I'm going to do. But the Cleveland Cavaliers, 4-0 on the season, shooting the ball very, very well. The Knicks are, both teams came into this game like the top 2 teams in field goal percentage so far in the season. It's only, a couple games into the season, but, the Cleveland Cavaliers shoot the ball well. They shot 47% tonight from the field, 33% from the three-point line. Balanced enough scoring for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And we're going to look at some deeper stats in a minute. You look at the Knicks' schedule early. They're 1-2. They played 3 of the top teams in the Eastern Conference so far. So obviously that's tough. That's a tough bill for a new team, a new squad. That's a tough bill. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. Disappointed at the loss. Disappointed at the loss. Knicks GM said, we won, except it's a crapshoot, 2-8 in the East. I don't know exactly what you're saying, bro. You got to decipher that for me. Decode what you're saying for me because I don't understand that. Ladies and gentlemen, the phone lines are open, 516-362-5212. Give me a phone call. I want to know what you're thinking about this game. I know a lot of you are watching the Giants right now, disappointed that the Knicks lost, watching the Giants. I don't know. When I turned the Giants game off, they were losing too. Obviously, the Giants were losing. I'm disappointed about the Giants season 2. And anybody watching that has anything to say about the New York Giants, we can handle that when the time is right. I'm disappointed about the Giants season. Thought the Giants were going to be, So they're down 26-18. The Giants are, for those not watching the Giants game, 2 minutes and 47 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Down by 8. What are you going to say? New York's going to take 2 L's tonight. And, second and third, the Pittsburgh Steelers have the ball. Whatever. Anyway, let me get to a phone call. Caller, let me do me a favor. Can you turn that down in the back, please? Before we let you get on live so that, we don't get an echo and all of that. Go ahead, you're live, my brother. You're live. Name and where you're from, please.
What's going on? This is Lloyd from the Bronx. What's going on?
What's going on with you, man? How you feeling?
It's one of those nights, man. The Yankees is down. The Giants is down. Of course, my Knicks is down. So it's one of those nights, man.
One of those nights, right?
Yeah, it's one of those nights, man. But,
one of them cold
I'm just going to focus. No, yeah. I'm just since I watched the whole game, the whole Knicks game to its entirety tonight. I'm just gonna talk about this game since it's nothing but Knicks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Go ahead.
You
Let's
know.
do it.
So,
Let's do it.
oh man. Now you was right. You hit everything on the nail with Karl Anthony Towns. I feel like for him being one of the best offensive centers in the league, he got to demand the ball more, bro.
It's got to.
8 shots. It can't. We like with Karl Anthony Towns. I feel like he had because one thing about Jew, we get on his ass back. Excuse my French. We get on his behind, but at the same time, he demands the ball.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? You know what we're gonna get from Julius Randle.
Right.
Karl Anthony Towns. Sometimes I feel like it's like he wants. I get it. It's a new team for you, but you know what you're here to do. You're here to score the basketball.
Right.
Not 8 shots. You're supposed to be taking 20 shots. You're supposed to be putting up 20 points every game, 20-10 every game.
Yeah.
That pick and pop, that pick and roll with you and Brunson should be, you know what I'm saying? Because you that good of an offensive force.
Yeah.
And then sometimes when Brunson wasn't there, I remember when there was a time when Brunson was out, he was hurt. I feel like Karl Anthony Towns, as soon as he's in the game, yo, give me the ball. Let me put in the work. Because there's a couple of things. Like I just feel like he needs, because he's our only 7-footer. He needs to sometimes start his offense from the mid range. He needs to sometimes start it from the elbow, going inside. Because if you shoot, I know you're a great shooter, but if you shoot from the 3, you know what I'm saying, and then you miss, who's going to be out there getting the board? Those boards are going to be offensive. Now it's like you're in transition. The other team is in transition now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because sometimes those 3s are long. When they miss it, they're long balls. There's long rebounds. You see what I'm saying? So. I you got to tip your hat off to the Cavs. You know, they backcourt did a good job. Darius Garland had like 34, 12 to 19. He had like 15 points in the fourth quarter. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to tip your hat off to them. But at the same time, they were a big team. Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, they were a big team. That was a big and it's like, Evan Mobley, I'm not going to lie, he's surprising from his rookie season now. I'm like, damn, like your offense became, like, where did that come from? Like, I mean, because you saw the development of Evan Mobley. He was a force inside. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes he was giving Karl Anthony Towns some problems. I was like, Karl Anthony Towns is supposed to take him. Because remember, he's younger than Karl Anthony Towns.
Right.
I feel like experience, can over-trump youth, can over-trump talent. You know what I'm saying? So I thought Karl Anthony Towns would have got an edge on that. You know what I mean? I did feel like Brunson, he did force his way. Like he did not have a great game either. I mean, he started coming in late, but I felt like it was a little bit too late.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he did turn the ball over, but I just feel like the big issue it is Karl, because I feel like with Karl Anthony Towns, there is no way that sometimes like because when you look at the stat sheet, he's the only one that's taking less shots. Like sometimes I see what's his name, Campaign and Deuce taking 10 shots, taking 7, 8, 9, 10 shots.
I mean, that happened tonight.
They're taking more shots than Karl Anthony.
Deuce had 12 shots.
So that's the
tonight.
thing I don't get about Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Deuce had 12 shots tonight. He was 6 for 12 from the field tonight. Deuce was 14 points. Campaign took 7 shots tonight.
Right. And that's a problem, because it's like, why is my bench players taking more shots than my star all-star starter?
Right.
Like, that's what we brought you in for.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I think they have to break out of this now, because we got Miami Wednesday, and then we have believe it or not, we have a little bit of a tough schedule early in the season.
Yeah.
So it's better that they get this thing, over with now, so that we can smooth our way to the All-Star and then going down to the playoffs. So this could be like water, so we won't break, because it's better we have this problem now than have it later on during the season when we're trying to get the playoff seedings.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So, and at the same time, I think, our wing stop is fine. I think McCall, he figured it out with his shooting. You know what I mean? It was worrying me a little bit, but I think he figured this out with his shooting. And I felt like I slept on his mid-range game. I did not know. Maybe because he was in Brooklyn, I did not know that he was going to pull that off. Them little floaters, them little fall away jump shots. Yeah. I did not know. You know what I mean? He's doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? He should continue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That the only thing is we just got to figure out that chemistry between Cat and Brunson, like that pick and pop and that pick and roll.
Right.
You know what I mean? We need that. We need that going early.
Right.
You know what I mean? But no, I appreciate you. I appreciate
Nah, I
you.
appreciate you, bro.
Bringing me in. I just wanted to get my intake because I just feel like what's going on. There's 3 losses with the Yankees and with the Giants, and I just feel like I have to air my grievances, bro, because I ain't the only one. You know what I
You're
mean?
not the only one. Yeah, it's a cold night in New
Yeah,
York,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, it's a cold night. And the weather's not making it better either. Like, damn, it's like 40 degrees
That's
and
what I'm
whatnot.
saying.
So
Like, it's
it's
cold
not
all the
making
way
it better.
around, from the weather to the sports. It's a cold night. It's one of them nights.
Right, it's a cold, dark night. Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But nah, I appreciate this airing out my
bro.
grievance. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
Because this it ain't no way that we're supposed to be having a trifecta in terms of the losses we have in all 3 sports, bro.
I feel you.
Oh man,
I feel you.
oh man,
Yeah, try to have a good rest of the night, man.
yeah.
No
Nah,
doubt.
I appreciate it. Thanks
Appreciate
a lot.
it.
Thanks a lot for having me on.
Appreciate you. Peace. Yeah. It's a cold night. It's a cold night for New York fans, man. But, I mean, listen, the Giants down 26-18. They got 1:53, and it looks like they're taking the field. So, who knows? Maybe Daniel Jones can pull out a 2-minute, maybe he can pull out an Eli Manning. Knicks lose, ladies and gentlemen, 110-104. They out-rebounded Cavs 43-41. 22 assists for the Knicks, 21 for the Cleveland Cavaliers. 8 steals for the Knicks, 10 for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Only 3 blocks for the Knicks. Karl Anthony Towns didn't have any blocks tonight. Not to say he didn't play decent defense. He did. He just didn't have any blocks tonight. 16 turnovers for the Knicks. Kind of uncharacteristic for the way the season has been going. The Knicks have been a low turnover team. It's a little bit high for the Knicks, 16 turnovers. The Knicks only shot 44% from the field. Right from the beginning, the Cleveland Cavaliers are a good defensive team. So it was a struggle for the Knicks to make shots. You know what I mean? It was a struggle for the Knicks to make shots all night. There was a couple of stretches where they shot the ball well, but for the most part, they struggled. 44%, 32% from the three-point line for the Knicks, 33% from the three-point line for the Cavs, but the Cavs shot 47% from the field overall. Both teams shot 83% from the free throw line. Points in the paint, the Knicks won that battle, 54-52. Second chance points, the Knicks won that, 20-10. And the Knicks on the break, Cleveland Cavaliers, 19 points. The Knicks only 10. But listen, I'm not expecting this team to fast break, okay? Because they're a half-court team. They're a slow team. Trading Julius Randle did make the team slower. Trading Julius Randle for Cat made the team slower because Julius Randle can get the ball, get the rebound, and go. Cat's not doing that. Right? Cat's going to get the rebound and find Brunson or Deuce or Josh Hart. So that changes things a little bit for the Knicks. Now, the Knicks still got plenty of guys that can get the ball out and go. But right now in the starting lineup, there's still 4 guys that can get the ball out and go. But they're a slower team now. They're more of a half-court team now. And I'm not saying with Julius Randle here they were a fast-breaking team, but, they could do a little bit more out there on the break, I think, in my opinion. So there's some adjustments that have to be made, right? When you play a slower game, you play a half-court game, it's going to be a slower pace without a doubt. Your defense might be a little bit better because it's easier for you to get back in position, et cetera, et cetera. Plus the game is a little bit slower. You force the opposing team to play half court. I mean, listen, this was kind of an early season slugfest, right? Only 110 points scored by the Cleveland Cavaliers when they've been scoring like 130. I think they had a game where they scored 135, a game where they scored 133. Right? So it was a defensive battle tonight. I don't know. Disappointed. The Knicks got to do a little bit better getting the ball to their guys. Karl Anthony Towns, listen, demand the ball. You know, don't fade away. You got to have, look, it's the last time I'm going to say it for the night, I think. Brunson has that dominant type of personality. Silent, but dominant. Right? He's got the scowl, he's got that leadership thing, the it factor, the give me the ball thing. He's the only one. We don't have anybody else like that. That bothers me a little bit. We don't have anybody else like that. Mikal Bridges isn't like that. OG definitely isn't like that. And right now, from what I'm seeing, Karl Anthony Towns isn't that way either. He's willing to get lost in the sauce and just be out there floating. You know, it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. You know what I mean? Not a good thing at all. But anyway, the Knicks lose to the Cleveland Cavaliers. And for, you know, it was an entertaining basketball game, but they lost tonight for multiple reasons. Bad shooting, not enough shots for Karl Anthony Towns, a little bit too much dribbling sometimes for Jalen Brunson, in my opinion. Good defense from the Cleveland Cavaliers. You know, the Knicks couldn't really get into a good rhythm tonight. Let's talk about Hukporti, though. Let's talk about Hukporti. Hukporti tonight may have supplanted Jericho Sims. He played 11 minutes tonight. Jericho Sims, ladies and gentlemen, played 3 minutes and 48 seconds tonight. Tom Thibodeau is not happy about Jericho Sims' activity out there on the floor. Hukporti brings activity. He brings more personality. I ain't trying to diss Jericho Sims. He's just, you know, laid back, introverted type of a guy. But when you're out there on the floor and you need that energy, you need someone that's going to bring the energy. And Hukporti brings the energy. Daniel Jones just threw an interception. So the game is over, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Looked like the Giants were maybe trying to do something, moving the ball. He just threw an interception. Not a good night for New York sports. But anyway, let's go back to Hukporti because that's a bright spot tonight for the New York Knicks, in my opinion. He plays with some activity. He only took one shot tonight. He had 2 rebounds. But let me tell you something. You get him out there and he gets comfortable. Tony's been talking about him for a while. You get him out there and he gets comfortable. You might have something a little bit more with Hukporti. Another big body that can be active, that can block some shots, that can grab rebounds, plays with an aggressive mentality. We need that on this team. You know, that's one of the things that we've needed. You know, Julius Randle played with activity when he wanted to. Talking about on the offensive side, sometimes on the defense and on the defensive side too, right? He played with like energy and activity. When you look at this team, while we're good defensively, maybe Deuce plays with it. You know, Campaign plays with some energy and some activity. Deuce definitely plays with energy and activity. You know, we need a guy that's willing to throw his body around. Hukporti is willing to throw his body around. He's got a big body. He's going to blast people. Jericho Sims, I don't know, man. His spot was taken tonight, I think. Now we're getting, look, nostalgic Nick. Start Huck. Nick Yak. Says move Cat to the 4 and play Hukporti. That's not happening right now. That's not happening right now. It's not happening right now. I mean, come on now. Let him get his feet wet first. Am I saying that's not? Am I going to say to you that it won't happen? I'm not going to say that, but let him get his feet wet and then see what happens from there. But I do like his activity. I mean, 12 minutes tonight. And if it wasn't for Jericho Sims' 3 minutes, 3 minutes and 48 seconds, Hukporti would have played 16 minutes tonight. And that might happen in the next game. That might happen. You know, Jericho Sims, you know, low activity for him. He had 1 rebound. What was that in the first quarter? Grabbed a big offensive rebound and kicked it out. So we'll see what happens, man. I think Hukporti may have supplanted Jericho Sims tonight. And I have no complaints about that. Guy, he looks like he's ready to ball. I want to talk about Deuce, man. Listen, Deuce is going to be the most improved player this year. Deuce is going to average 15 to 16 points per game. He's going to shoot high from the three-point line. He's going to shoot a high percentage from the field. Deuce has become a must player for this basketball team. The most important player off the bench right now is Deuce. Deuce, how much? You can't say much more about the kid, man. He's just, he kept working, plays defense, kept working. Now he's one of the main cogs. He played 29 minutes tonight. I can see Deuce getting 30 minutes every single night because the Knicks need him out there on the floor. They need his defense, and now they need his offense because he can shoot the ball. And he's playing with supreme confidence. By the way, for anyone who's on Instagram, follow my personal Instagram, not nothing but Knicks, my personal Instagram at Supreme Discipline. You know, I'm putting it in the chat. I'll follow you back. Supreme Discipline. It's my personal Instagram. Obviously, at nothing but Knicks is the Knicks Instagram. But yeah, go ahead and follow me if you're on Instagram. Chat a little bit. But yeah, Hukporti, man, impressive. But Deuce. Got to give it up for Deuce, man. I love what Deuce is doing. I love the leadership that he shows. You seen what he said to Hukporti, right? You seen it during the game. You probably seen it on Instagram or whatever before then. But you seen what he said to Hukporti about making the most of the minutes that he has when he's out there on the floor. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what Tom Thibodeau looks at. Yeah. Deuce. The Knicks are dependent on they're dependent on Deuce right now. Love what Deuce is doing. And I think Deuce is going to have a magnificent year. The Knicks have him under contract, a small contract. He's going to outplay that contract without a doubt. You know what I mean? Big shout out to Deuce. Love what Deuce is doing with this team. And I would, the starting lineup will probably stay the same because Josh Hart can rebound the ball the way that he does. And the Knicks need that in that starting lineup. But if Josh Hart goes out, or if Jalen Brunson goes out, or if OG or Bridges goes out, Deuce is probably put into that starting lineup because of the way that he can play defense, the activity that he has, and the confidence that he's showing in scoring the basketball. Big shout out to Deuce. As the caller said earlier, Bridges is finding his shot. That's a positive for this basketball team. Bridges is finding his shot. You know, when he's proven that he can score from different ranges, right? He can shoot the three. He can get a shot off quick. He can shoot the mid range. You know, he's got a nice little fadeaway shot. You know, so Mikal Bridges is beginning to come into his own on this basketball team. OG Anunoby. Listen, OG gave you 13 shot attempts tonight. Other nights it's going to be 4. We just know that about OG. I'm hoping that listen, OG's kind of new to the team too. Hopefully OG is going to turn that corner and become a little bit more aggressive. We need those 4 players to be aggressive. You know, and I had said maybe in the last show that I was going to stop talking about OG and just accept OG for what he does. But I would like to see OG be a little bit more aggressive still. All of these guys got to be aggressive. And that's what, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just going to keep, I can't help it. I'm going to keep saying it. That's what I'm afraid with this team. We just don't have that person that's going to inject that edge to this team. Might have to be Brunson. Brunson's going to have to get mad, slap a chair, yell at a couple of people. I don't care if they're your friends or not. Brunson's going to have to do it, I think. He's the leader. He's got to do it. Cat ain't that kind of guy. He's not going to do it. OG's not going to do it. I don't think Bridges is going to do it either. Brunson has to do it. Brunson's got to get a little nastier. And you know what? It could happen. I see the way he talks to the refs every once in a while. It could happen. Brunson's got to get a little bit meaner, a little bit nastier. You know what I'm saying? And inject that attitude into his teammates. Because this team needs a little bit of nastiness, I think. We can't be nice guys all the time. We can't. We need some nastiness. We lost a little bit of edge with Dante and Randall going to Minnesota. Dante brought some edge too. We lost some of that edge. Some people got to step up and supplant it. Mentality of this team got to, we need that edge. We need that edge. For those just joining us from the Giants game, you guys know the Knicks lost 110-104 to the Cleveland Cavaliers. I've been harping all night about Karl Anthony Towns only having 8 shot attempts. Been harping on it all night long. And I'm still harping on it because I'm disappointed with it. We need him to have more. We need his mindset to change. To, I'm the guy. I'm the man on this team. JJ47K. He said, it's Tibbs' system and Brunson's chucking. Fix that, we're okay. Well, let me tell you something. He said, fix that, we're okay. Let me tell you something. Tibbs' system is what got us here. Jalen Brunson is he's the man in Tibbs' system. This is the way we play. That's it. It's the way we play. This is it. You know what I'm saying? Expect to see a whole lot of Jalen Brunson. A couple of shows ago, there was a conversation about who's going to be the leading scorer on this team. There is no conversation. It's going to be Jalen Brunson because Karl Anthony Towns doesn't have that mentality. Brunson does. It will be Jalen Brunson, no doubt. JJ47K said, I'm talking about for this specific team with Towns, not Hartenstein, with Bridges, not Dante. Yeah, I do understand. There'll be some changes to the way that they play. Right? Things are going to open up, and you'll start to see more actions. We've seen it even last year, right? More action started to come in as Tibbs really understood how to use Hartenstein and Dante and everything, and that'll happen with this basketball team too. That'll happen. The Public Enemy said Brunson got to pass more. He's thinking of a 40-plus scoring clinic every game. Pass the ball. I mean, he had 7 assists tonight. Brunson did. He did have 7 assists. Deanne said Josh Hart is playing every position but the guard position. I mean, that's what Josh Hart is. Josh Hart is just an all-around player that's going to do anything that's needed out there on the floor. That's who he is. That's who he is. Deanne again said 6'4" in height, playing the power forward and small forward. What are we doing here? I mean, that's what his career has been built upon. That's what we did last year. That's what they're going to continue to do this year. Greg, I don't know. Are you throwing tomatoes at me, Greg? I don't know why. You're the guy that you hated, Julius Randle. He's out of here now. So what you mad about? Who are you blaming now, Greg? Because before you blamed Julius Randle for everything. Who are you blaming now, Greg? For those that don't know, Greg is the ultimate troll in this chat. If you're new to the chat, Greg is the ultimate troll here. Cavs are a good team, Andrew. Cavs are a good team. There's no doubt about it. They're a good basketball team. The Public Enemy said, Josh Hart's getting more rebounds than Cat, but y'all say Towns is not soft. I think Towns plays hard. I think up here is for me, in my opinion, is what I'm seeing right now is being soft. Upstairs. He doesn't have that mentality. We'll see. I think New York is going to help build that mentality in the Cat. Might take some time. But I think that's what's going to happen. I think they're going to build that. If Cat ever gets that mentality, he'd be unstoppable. Listen, don't get me wrong, folks. I still think this is a very good basketball team. It's just going to take time for things to get together, time for things to happen, time for things to gel. It's going to take some time for that to happen, no doubt. They're a good basketball team. Good basketball team. Let me get to a caller here. Caller, you're live. Name me where you're from, please. Huh? Guess not. Guess we missed out on that one. Well, folks, I'm going to head up out. I appreciate your time. I'm disappointed on the night. New York teams taking losses and all of that. Rough night for New York sports, but we'll be back. The Knicks play. Sean said, Knicks fans are complaining 3 games. Yeah, I mean, there's some things that we're seeing. Things that I'm seeing that I'm concerned about. But anyway, I'm up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate your time. The Knicks play Miami on Wednesday. I got some things to do, but I'm going to try to jump on tomorrow night because I got some other things on my mind that I want to talk about. But I'll definitely be on for pregame show. Hopefully you enjoyed Queens Court earlier today. But for the pregame show and for the postgame show, we need this win against Miami. Until this thing gels, we got to stay here 500 or a little bit better. Then when it gels, we start taking things over, But anyway, I'm up out of here. Appreciate your time. Have a good evening. I'll talk to y'all later, man. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Nick.